as much as we possibly can. So, to answer your question, why are we here in Vancouver? There is so much interesting stuff happening in British Columbia. I mean, you know, I think everybody knows that the political landscape, the sands are shifting out here as we head up to an election come May. So we're going to be talking to Adrian Dix, who, you know, according to most, is going to be the next Premier of British Columbia. And Adrian Dix has got to start talking about the big issues. He's got to start talking like, if he wants to be the Premier, he's got to start talking about stuff that Premiers talk about.
But isn't his plan right now just to shut up and let the other guys step off the cliff?
That may be, but he'll have an interesting time on our show. Absolutely.
But it would seem like a lot of people who are in that position, it's like, I'm going to win, so I'm just going to be really quiet and say a lot of generics.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it is like, playing defense in the game, right? Just, kitty bar the door, block the net, no pucks going in the net, and we'll win the game that way. But at the same time, I think that any politician has to step up to the plate and actually start talking about stuff that matters nationally, because what's happening in British Columbia really does matter, throughout the entire country. The other person we're going to be talking to, we're really looking forward to this, Jimmy Pattison. He's the third richest guy in the country.
Always interesting to talk to.
He's got a lot of skin in the game in terms of what happens here and in terms of what happens in the country. So, what is Jimmy Pattison? Here's the question. What should we be thinking about that we're not thinking about, that Jimmy Pattison thinks we should be thinking about? And that's where we're sort of going to engage Jimmy. I mean, what a character. What a great character this guy is.
It's an amazing story.
Oh, incredible story. And any time that he will sit down, which is rare, that Jimmy Pattison will sit down and talk.
It's true.
But he's going to be on the West Block, so we're really looking forward to that. And we're also going to be talking to James Moore, the Federal Heritage Minister, obviously from here. And, there's a lot to talk to James Moore about. He's been Heritage Minister longer than most Heritage Ministers have been there.
What does a Heritage Minister do?
Well, he spends money, is what he does.
Oh, really?
Yes, he dispenses money on heritage things. And one of the things he spent a lot of money on, about $42 million on, is the commemoration of the War of 1812, which I know in the Lower Mainland is a huge issue, the War of 1812.
Yeah, we were thinking about that all the time.
Exactly, because it may come back to hit you any moment. But why is that? What was it about the teaching of history in this country that James Moore didn't like, that he felt that we needed to spend a lot of money on to correct? So I think there'll be a good discussion there. Because
so he likes the idea we beat the Americans.
Well, yeah, but I was just down in the United States, and they went, "Why are you guys commemorating a war that you lost?" It's sort of like, like you're the Confederacy, you guys lost. And I go, well, that's not what we're being told. So anyway, we're gonna get into that as well.
I want to ask you, just to back up a little bit, we're talking about Adrian Dix and what he has to do.
Yeah.
What does our current Premier have to do if she wants to win, in your opinion?
Great question. And let me say, no election is over until election night when the ballots are counted. I have seen so many elections over the period of time where the inevitable winner loses and the inevitable loser wins. So I wouldn't count out anybody at this stage. It's all about connecting with the people. I mean, in British Columbia, we've got a great tradition in this province of going this way, and then we go that way, and then we go that way.
The love-hate relationship, it's like they love the guy, then they hate the guy.
Absolutely.
Or in the case of the woman.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom, but I just quickly want to ask, because we're running out of time here, how much will Enbridge play a role in this whole Northern Gateway Pipeline project?
I think it's going to play a role. One of the things that I'm thinking about with Enbridge, if you take a look at what's happening in the States these days, you take a look at, for example, the fracking that's going on in the United States, the fact that they're going to be self-sufficient in oil within 15 or 20 years, this actually presents a real issue for Canada, particularly Alberta, because that oil that America so desperately wanted for so long, is it fast moving into the category of, we'll buy it if it's around, but we're not really interested because we've got, oil from the Gulf of Mexico off the coast of California, natural gas from the fracking that we're doing. Actually, we're fine, thank you very much. The sands are shifting really quickly on all this stuff. And so, the certainty that Canadian oil, Alberta oil, was going to run everything, and the big issue here about pipelines going to the coast and so on, well, that be running out of time, and we may be moving on to something else.
Let me ask you what we got for a few minutes here, well, a few seconds more. Liberal leadership. Former Vancouver school teacher, Justin Trudeau.
Right.
Does he win this thing, or does the spaceman beat him?
You know what?
And why are all those other people even running?
All those other people are running because they want us to mention their names. So, Deborah Coyne, Martha Hall Finley, okay, we mentioned their names. The reality is right now Justin Trudeau wins this for a whole bunch of reasons. But you know what? People may not like him. People may think that he's not deep enough. But you know what? This guy is filling holes across this country. He could be transformative for the Liberals. Why is Mark Garneau there? Hey, he's a smart guy. He's a PhD. He's been in outer space. Two things I haven't done, and probably won't as time goes on. But you're not going to win unless you're in the race. And politics, as we were saying earlier, is one of these things where you just can't count anything out. If you're there, you could possibly win. So Garneau is there. I think he's a really smart guy. He's going to raise the level of debate here. But question: who wins?
So,
Justin.
and if Justin wins, does he go to his dad's playbook and just win Ontario and Quebec, and you're the prime minister?
He's going to stress his BC roots. Watch for Justin to put a big play on in British Columbia. I predict he's going to do that. He's going to try and take Quebec. He's going to try and take urban Ontario. But BC is going to be a big part of his campaign.
And my last question is, when is someone going to tell Thomas Mulcair that nobody with a beard has been the prime minister since Mackenzie Bowl in the 18th
Wow,
year?
that is bravo.
You cannot win with a beard.
No, which is why I shaved mine. And I know why you shaved yours.
Yes.
And you never had to worry about that in the first place. But, the beard thing, wow. I don't know.
It sounds like, but it's, to me, I just don't think he can win with a beard.
You know what? I will pass that on to him. I will let him know that
Just say Mackenzie Bowl, 1800s, that's it. And that was before television.
All right. Tom, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you guys very much. That was great fun talking to you.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thanks, Ann. Okay, thanks.
You can see Tom Clark's show, The West Block, Sundays at 10 a.m.